Hey, 49ers faithful. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates on our beloved San Francisco 49ers. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any breaking news or exciting updates about the Niners. The NFL world was sent into absolute chaos this morning as shocking news emerged from the San Francisco 49ers organization. In a move that no one saw coming, the team officially announced that their starting quarterback, Brock Purdy, would be leaving the squad. Fans across social media exploded with disbelief, memes, and heartfelt tributes, reflecting the sudden void left by a player who had become a central figure in the franchise's recent successes. Analysts and insiders scrambled to interpret the underlying strategy, speculating on whether this was a result of salary cap maneuvers, internal disagreements, or an attempt to rebuild around a different offensive vision. Purdy, who had impressed since stepping onto the field, had developed a connection with teammates and fans alike that went beyond mere statistics, becoming a symbol of resilience and unexpected triumph. The announcement seemed almost surreal to supporters who had witnessed his rise from a late-round draft pick to a game-changing talent, someone who had transformed the 49ers' offense into a dynamic and unpredictable force. Conversations erupted in fan forums, live streams, and podcasts, each commentator trying to dissect the reasoning behind what many are calling one of the most controversial moves in recent NFL history. The shock was palpable as the NFL community collectively tried to process the reality of losing a quarterback many considered untouchable. Rumors began swirling immediately, suggesting that Purdy's departure could have been influenced by behind-the-scenes negotiations that fans and media were only beginning to uncover. Some insiders hinted at potential tension between coaching staff and management regarding long-term offensive planning, while others speculated that Purdy himself may have requested a trade to pursue a larger role elsewhere. Speculative narratives flourished, with debates over who might replace him, if the team would draft a new quarterback, or whether a veteran presence could fill the sudden gap. Amidst all this uncertainty, fans expressed heartbreak and frustration, reminiscing about Purdy's memorable performances, clutch plays, and the sense of hope he brought during critical games. Social media timelines flooded with videos of his most iconic moments. Hashtags trended, and commentary sections filled with emotional reactions, ranging from anger to sorrow to disbelief. Even casual followers of the NFL found themselves drawn into the conversation, sharing thoughts on how the decision might impact the 49ers' playoff aspirations. Analysts began to revisit game tapes, highlighting Purdy's strengths, his leadership qualities, and the intangible energy he contributed to the team's morale. Meanwhile, sports talk radio hosts speculated endlessly about potential destinations, contract negotiations, and the ripple effects this announcement could have across the league, emphasizing that this was far from a minor shakeup. It was a seismic event that could reshape off-season dynamics dramatically. Adding fuel to the fire, whispers of an impending trade surfaced, suggesting that multiple teams had been in talks with the 49ers regarding Purdy's future. The intrigue deepened as some reports hinted at a potential blockbuster deal that could involve draft picks, cash considerations, or even player swaps, though official confirmation remained elusive. Fans debated endlessly on forums, weighing hypothetical trades and outcomes, dissecting every leaked detail with the precision of professional scouts. Analysts offered complex theories about the team's long-term vision, some arguing that this was a strategic move to reset the franchise, while others feared it was a miscalculation that could set them back years. Within stadium walls, whispers of locker room reactions and team dynamics began circulating, with insiders hinting that Purdy's departure had left a palpable emotional void among players. Social media became a battlefield of opinions, ranging from outrage to cautious optimism, as fan bases around the league speculated on how this sudden vacancy might alter competitive balance. Amid all the rumors, one thing was clear: Brock Purdy's name would dominate headlines for weeks, with every tweet, article, and broadcast dissecting what his absence meant for San Francisco, the NFL at large, and a narrative of a quarterback who defied expectations before leaving fans stunned in the blink of an eye. Questions about leadership, offensive cohesion, and team morale began to dominate conversations among insiders, fans, and commentators alike. Analysts suggested that the 49ers now faced a critical juncture, needing to decide whether to pursue a veteran signal caller, gamble on a draft pick, or elevate a backup to the spotlight. Purdy's departure, while sudden, forced a reckoning over the team's identity, offensive strategy, and long-term vision. Coaches were rumored to be scrambling behind closed doors, weighing options that could fundamentally reshape the franchise for seasons to come. Meanwhile, the media landscape was saturated with debates about whether this move signaled a broader shift in the league's quarterback market and whether other franchises might follow suit in making bold, unconventional decisions. Fan reactions became increasingly impassioned, mixing nostalgia for Purdy's highlight reel moments with frustration over the apparent lack of communication surrounding the decision. Online polls, trending hashtags, and viral videos proliferated, each reinforcing the narrative of shock, uncertainty, and intense speculation. Every angle seemed to be under scrutiny, from contract clauses to locker room dynamics, creating an atmosphere of relentless curiosity that showed no signs of abating anytime soon, as everyone from casual watchers to die-hard analysts tried to piece together the full story behind one of the most unexpected NFL developments of the year. Meanwhile, the ripple effects of this announcement spread far beyond the confines of Levi's Stadium, influencing fan bases, rival teams, and league-wide speculation in ways few had anticipated. Every team with quarterback needs suddenly found itself reconsidering plans. Scouting reports were reanalyzed, and front offices were said to be holding emergency meetings to assess potential trade opportunities. The NFL landscape, always competitive and unpredictable, seemed temporarily unmoored by the sudden vacancy left by Purdy's exit, with ripple effects likely to influence draft boards, contract negotiations, and preseason preparations across multiple franchises. Social media platforms, sports podcasts, and highlight reels became battlegrounds for fans and pundits to speculate on who could fill the vacuum left behind, with some advocating for a bold draft choice and others urging caution, fearing a repeat of historic mistakes. Amid this frenzy, the 49ers organization remained tight-lipped, issuing statements that only confirmed the departure while leaving details tantalizingly vague. The secrecy intensified speculation, giving rise to conspiracies, insider leaks, and a flood of opinion pieces debating the why behind the decision. Every day brought new angles, new rumors, and new hot takes, ensuring that Brock Purdy's departure would dominate conversations long after the initial announcement, leaving the NFL world in suspense and fans grappling with the sudden loss of a quarterback who had become much more than just a player. It was a cultural shockwave across the sport. Even as fans struggled to reconcile with the news, conversations about Brock Purdy's legacy began to take shape, highlighting the complex emotions surrounding his departure. Purdy had evolved into more than a statistical standout. He was a leader, a motivator, and a symbol of hope for a fanbase hungry for success. His most clutch performances, dramatic comebacks, and quiet moments of resilience became the focus of retrospectives across media platforms, each framing his exit as the end of an era for the 49ers. Debates about whether his career would flourish elsewhere or if the 49ers had made a miscalculation raged across social networks, sports shows, and fan forums. The human element of the story, friendships, locker room culture, and fan connection, was front and center, highlighting why this wasn't just a transaction, but a deeply felt emotional event. Commentators speculated endlessly about the next chapter in Purdy's career, imagining potential fits with teams that could utilize his unique skill set, while simultaneously pondering how San Francisco would adapt without the quarterback who had energized them week after week. The juxtaposition of excitement for what might come and sorrow over what was lost created a complex emotional landscape, fueling rumors, leaks, and passionate discussions. In essence, Brock Purdy's departure wasn't merely a news item. It was a catalyst, a spark igniting conversations about strategy, loyalty, leadership, and the very essence of what makes NFL fandom so emotionally charged, leaving an indelible mark on both the league and the hearts of those who had cheered him on tirelessly. Speculation surrounding Brock Purdy's next destination has become a full-blown frenzy, with fans, analysts, and insiders offering an endless stream of theories, predictions, and bold assertions about where this rising star could land. Some reports suggest that multiple teams with quarterback needs have quietly initiated contact with the 49ers, attempting to gauge trade possibilities, while others hint at potential contract restructuring that could make Purdy an attractive free agent acquisition. Social media platforms have exploded with fan-made mock trades, hypothetical lineups, and highlight reels designed to remind the world of what they're about to lose, while betting sites quickly adjusted odds for potential landing spots, signaling the market's recognition of the high stakes involved. Meanwhile, fan communities on Reddit, Discord, and Twitter have become pressure cookers of speculation, with heated debates over whether Purdy should remain in the NFC to maintain divisional rivalries or pursue an entirely new challenge in another conference. Analysts break down every aspect of his game: accuracy, decision-making, mobility, and leadership, trying to project how he could fit into different offensive systems, while former players weigh in with first-hand experience on how Purdy's skill set might translate elsewhere. The narrative has shifted from mere shock to a complex web of intrigue, rumors, and anticipation, creating a viral sensation that has dominated sports media for days and shows no sign of slowing down as the NFL offseason evolves. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Insiders hint at the possibility that Purdy's departure was not just about football, but about leverage, agency negotiations, and long-term career planning, suggesting a more calculated strategy behind what appeared to be a sudden announcement. Some whispers indicate that his representatives might be using the market frenzy to secure a more favorable contract or to ensure placement in a system that aligns with his strengths, creating a high-stakes chess game behind closed doors. Pundits analyze every tweet, interview, and public appearance for hidden messages, trying to decode whether the quarterback is signaling preferences or exerting subtle pressure on teams. Rumors also suggest that certain front offices are hesitant to act too quickly, fearing that Purdy's value may fluctuate depending on how the trade drama unfolds, making patience a strategic weapon. Meanwhile, fans oscillate between hope and panic, producing endless streams of memes, countdowns, and speculative content that amplify the narrative and keep the conversation alive across all platforms. Even casual observers have been drawn into discussions, debating potential coaching styles, offensive schemes, and fit within rival teams. The effect is a perfect storm of rumor, strategy, and emotion, where the line between speculation and reality blurs, and every development, no matter how minor, is dissected for hidden meaning. The human element of this saga continues to dominate conversations, as fans and commentators alike consider the emotional and cultural impact of Purdy's exit on the 49ers locker room. Stories have emerged of teammates grappling with the news, expressing a mix of frustration, nostalgia, and uncertainty about the future, and insiders speculate that leadership dynamics will inevitably shift in his absence. Analysts discuss the psychological effect on younger players, the challenge for coaching staff to maintain morale, and how rival teams might exploit the perceived disruption. Social media has become a digital memorial, with clips of iconic plays, locker room celebrations, and post-game interviews circulating widely, emphasizing the personal connection fans had with Purdy. Meanwhile, journalists probe sources for insights into internal reactions, seeking context behind the headlines, while sports talk shows dissect every nuance of the organization's strategy and highlight potential ripple effects across the league. Fans debate whether this was a forced move by management or a mutual decision, intensifying discussions and fueling theories about broader franchise motives. Ultimately, Purdy's departure is not just a tactical consideration, but a deeply human story, illustrating the intertwining of professional decisions, personal relationships, and fan loyalty in the world of professional football, and magnifying the emotional stakes in every analysis and rumor. As speculation grew, attention turned toward potential replacements for Brock Purdy, with various names circulating in trade rumors, draft projections, and free agent analysis. Veteran quarterbacks with experience in high-pressure situations were discussed as potential stopgaps, while promising young talent from college and backup rosters were floated as long-term investments. Analysts debated whether the 49ers should prioritize immediate competitiveness or embrace a rebuilding approach, weighing the benefits of each strategy. Trade rumors gained momentum, with hypothetical multi-team scenarios creating endless discussion points for fans and insiders, while mock drafts were updated daily to reflect the shifting landscape. The NFL media ecosystem buzzed with constant updates, highlighting the speed and intensity of modern rumor cycles and illustrating how a single announcement can reshape expectations across multiple franchises. Meanwhile, fan communities generated creative content to envision potential new quarterbacks, blending analysis with humor, speculation, and emotional attachment to Purdy's legacy. Every play he ever made was dissected to consider how his successor might replicate or surpass his impact. Analysts pondered offensive schemes, coaching styles, and the cultural importance of leadership in the locker room, suggesting that Purdy's exit created a strategic vacuum that extends far beyond mere statistics. Across every platform, the conversation remained relentless, blending rumor, analysis, and fan emotion in a way that few NFL stories have ever achieved. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.